Hello and welcome to today's video. Now, I just need 4 vintage Penguin First Editions to finish my run of the first 1,000 books. Now, I've got tantalizingly close in 2022 and I just missed out on having these 4 a couple of times over, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I also want to let you know the 4 that I am actually still missing and what I'm prepared to pay to buy these rare Penguin paperbacks. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay, so before we go into the 4 books that I actually need, I just wanted to show you these few here, which were all published around the same time. And the books that I'm looking for are very, very similar in design and condition. And as I said, the actual paper quality and that, these are all sort of wartime issues. And these are the ones that I'm sort of struggling to get my hands on. So this one, for example, Max Carados, what's this, number 436? This one was a wartime release. And what typifies these Penguin ones is because of wartime paper rationing, the actual paper they're printed on is very, very fragile. 1943, sort of Britain was in the height of the Blitz, coming out the worst of it the other side, and consequently the print runs of these are quite small. The paper they were printed on is very, very fragile, so not many copies have survived. Crime titles in particular were reread countless times, so the copies just ended up falling to bits, and consequently 80 plus years later these books have ended up being quite scarce. And like most collectors, I need just a few crime titles and one old crossword book to sort of complete my collection. So these ones here, these ones that I brought in, are all very, very similar. These are all quite rare titles, but this is the sort of thing that we're looking for in first Penguin edition. Most of them did get reprints a few years later, just after the war, but these are worth far less, and I'm not interested in the reprints at all. They have to be first Penguin editions, and they need to say first Penguin edition inside. So what we're looking for is that, published in Penguin books with the date. All right. Apart from some crime books that I need one odd crossword book as well. This is an example of a really very nice crossword book, almost printed within a few months of the one that I'm looking for. And this one's an absolutely immaculate copy. You could say that's easily as good as you're ever likely to find for a vintage crossword book that's 80 plus years old. So the offers that I'm going to make for the one that I'm missing will be based on a book in that condition. Although, being a crossword book, and I'm not, I don't need them all pristine, I'd be absolutely fine to accept any of these books in slightly lower grade conditions. Now, what's prompted me to make yet another video is, if you remember, it was about sort of 6 months ago when I put up a video and it was saying, these books wanted, you won't believe what I'm willing to pay. Well, at that point I needed 9 vintage Penguin books to finish my set, and thankfully I was able to get 3 through viewers of this channel and 2 from another book dealer, so I ended up getting quite a few off my list there. So over the moon with that, but I do just need now 4 for the collection. So what's happened is another book dealer, and this book dealer is a Penguin specialist. He ended up moving on or selling on a collection of another sort of Penguin collector who had the first 2,500 vintage Penguin books, and they were all in fantastic condition, pretty much, and he offered them on his catalogue. I think, too cheap, in all honesty. I think the prices were very, very reasonable. So, there were, I think, lots of bargains to be had. And there was, I put my hat in the ring, as it were. But the way that this dealer works, you place your order with him by a certain date, then all those orders go into a hat, and the names are pulled out at random. And unfortunately, on the latest latest catalogue, I was way down the list. I got like 6 books out of the, I don't know, about 80 that I ordered. So unfortunately the 4 that I needed were all on that list. So they were that close. I could have, if I'd have been pulled out in the first handful, I might have at least got a few of them, but all 4 were there. Now, the first book that we're looking at is called Artifacts Intervenes, Penguin number 410 by Richard Caverne, published in June 1943. Now, on that catalogue I was telling you about, that dealer only had it for £100, which I think is very, very reasonable indeed. Another dealer I know, a Penguin specialist, he also had a copy, and he worked on a sealed bids system. So you would just put in whatever you were willing to pay after having a look at the photos, and if you ended up being the highest bidder, then you got it. So I put in a sealed bid with this particular seller for £250. Unfortunately, someone bid more, so I dipped out, alas, which is, once again, it's gutting, because if it was in a public auction, for example, I might have been able to, I don't know, I might have put in £300 to get it, just, in the hope that I might have, the extra bit would have just sealed the deal. Because I'm so close to finishing the run now, I might have been willing to pay the extra little bit, but that was it. You get one chance, and based on the condition, I topped my copy out at £250, my bid. But for Artifacts Intervenes, going forward, if it's in this sort of condition, which is not perfect, but it's definitely not bad, it's like VG plus to fine, £250 is what I'd be willing to pay. Same sort of story really for the next one, which is Speedy Death. Now, I've seen 3 copies of this one last year, 3 copies of it, and I wasn't able to win any of them. One of them was admittedly falling to bits on eBay, and that one went for £150 on a buy it now, but it was very, very rough indeed. I mean, it was terrible shape. On the catalogue I was talking about earlier, that one was priced at £130, and the copy which the other Penguin dealer had, I bid £225, and once again, I didn't win it. It wasn't enough, so there you go. But my offer would be £250 if one's in a similar sort of condition as this for a copy of Speedy Death. The next one I'm after is number 460, which is a crossword book. So as you can see, this is an absolutely gorgeous one, but I'm actually after number 460, which is the 3rd Penguin crossword puzzle book, and that was published in August 1944. Now, if you've got a copy of that and it's in this sort of condition, unmarked, I will pay £200 for it. On the catalogue that I mentioned from the Penguin specialist dealer, he had a copy which is in beautiful condition for £50, which I think is woefully underpriced. So make of that what you will, but if someone's got one out there and it's in really nice shape, I shall pay £200 for that one. And then the final book is another crime one again, Josephine Bell. It's Death on the Borough Council. Now, I only saw the one of this one last year, so one did turn out, number 464, and on that dealer's catalogue it was £100, which once again I think is very, very cheap. I'd be more than happy to pay £250 for a copy of Death on the Borough Council if it was in nice VG plus to fine condition. So hopefully you've either got these in your collection and you might be looking to raise a few pounds to put towards something else, or you keep a little note of these books that I'm after. And if you're out and about looking in the bookshops and you see a dealer, or even online, you just get lucky and you come across one of these and you find it, just check the pinned comments in the description box down below to make sure I'm still looking for it, or just ping me an email at julesburt@gmail.com before you buy the book, just to make sure I am actually still looking for it. And if possible, if you've got a copy and you want me to potentially buy it, send as many photos as you can so I can have a really good look and make an assessment of the condition, and I'll make my offer based on that. Now, do have a look at the previous video, because there's a lot of that still stands, stuff like services editions and other series that I'm collecting, Forces Book Club, Penguin, Pan, all sorts of other series that there are books that I'm looking for. But I wanted to make a one-off video just about these final 4 missing Penguins. I'd love to get at least another 2 this year if I could. And ideally all 4. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. So there we go. Thank you very much for that. As I said, if you do come across any of these books, just hop me an email and I'll be very, very keen to take a look. Thanks very much for watching today, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.